Okay, my guys, welcome to SCG in the morning show that you love. I don't know that you love, but hey, I'm hoping you guys like what we've been doing here. Feedback is always good. I have been trying to go through your prospects. Some of them I haven't even been able to find anything. That's rude for me. Let me just mute that bad boy here because we don't want that to go through. Anyway, today there's no phone calls today, but we have a special guest. Say hello to my boy Sutton Def.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sutton Def. I'm back here on the on SCG Sports podcast again. I'm loving the morning show. I'm pretty sure we all miss our first take, undisputed, all those Colin Cowherd shows, that sort of thing. But this is pretty cool because it's all about Raven stuff, and it's in the morning as soon as we wake up. So, shout out to you, man. But,
Thank you. I appreciate that. So a couple of things, guys. Shout out to you, Bruno, Team Ramsey, Baltimore boy. Couple of things I'm trying to do. Remember, donations or super chats are gonna go directly to any local restaurants that you guys recommend me. They might be struggling. I want to buy some gift cards or gift certificates and then donate to any nurse, doctors, the delivery people. I mean, that we want to take care of those people that are working hard for us, making our life a little bit easier. Okay. And then second, I said that I wanted to do this every day. So I had two quotes today of the morning. So, we can start on the right note. Character consists of what you do on a third and fourth tries. Character consists of what you do on the third and fourth tries. I think that's important because sometimes, I know it's hard. I mean, trust me, a lot of things I do, they're hard. And I'm sure a lot of things you guys do are hard. But, whoa, what was that? Kids' toys. But, third and fourth try, you need to keep trying. And then with that one from us, the other one was from James A. Michener. Hopefully I didn't botch his last name. And then second one was for Mr. Vince Lombardi. Yeah, I love this quote. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Never quit, always fight. I know we're living in hard times. Stay safe. Anyway, shout out to everybody here. Harry Holan, Michael Gibson, Arnell, Jose Garcia. So a couple of things we're going to do. I'm going to actually start with some prospects because it's short. And then we're going to segue to South Sis. So what I meant. And then we're going to segue about the AFC North, the state of the AFC North. Who do we think is going to take the top? And this is actually something that my guys from Burt Lab BS, shout out to them, did last night. So I'm just taking a page. I thought it was cool to do that. Anyway, so starting, I don't know if you heard about these guys that I'm going to mention. One is Gibson from Memphis. He is a running back out of Memphis. Well, so I did the review yesterday, guys, and you can go back and check that from yesterday's episode. But one thing, yesterday I was like, okay, let me watch more stuff that I found for him, and I was like, okay, I'm liking this guy more and more. I said yesterday, and I actually had sustained said no running backs before the fourth round.
right.
I actually think this guy is a guy that I would not mind if he pick with the last pick of the third round, which is literally the last pick of the third round, because I think he can be a potential mismatch. Look, you put him there. I think the best way to play him is actually how he played in college. Split backfield. You put Mark and you put him. Now he has to be a better blocker. I have seen nothing of him on blocking, so he needs to develop that. But you can fake the run to him. Let's say he's on the right shoulder and Mark is on the left shoulder. You fake the run to him, and you have Mark going on the flat.
Right.
Well, Mark can go and not a naked bullet, but roll to the right. He will have Mark there in the flat, but let this guy just go out almost on a wheel route on the other side. That guy has so great hands for a running back. It's just insane how good of hands he has. He's essentially a receiver playing running back. So again, I don't know if have you heard about Gibson?
I haven't heard too much about Gibson, but just the sheer fact that you're even bringing up a running back, it gives me this question for you. Since you you wouldn't mind drafting a running back at the end of the third round, maybe sometime in the fourth. Does that mean that you do not have any sort of faith in Justice Hill?
It's not that I don't have faith. I was disappointed at him. I was disappointed. I think this guy can do what Justice Hill, I was expecting for Justice Hill to do.
Right.
Now he is bigger. Also, this is not for us to quit on Justice Hill. I actually think they're gonna expand the rosters a little bit more this year with all the COVID-19 thing going on. They have to instead, like, since we're gonna have less practice, injuries might spike. Let's just expand the rosters. I think this is the guy. Then the following year, when I think Ingram probably won't be back,
right?
You have Gus, you have him, yeah, Justice Hill, second year. The other thing this guy can do, he can do kickoff returns, so you can also use him in that position for now. I think he's a weapon. I think I saw him on the running, as a running back, and he's okay. He needs to develop. He's a project. But I think his hands as a running back, I haven't seen as good of a hands since. I mean, Saquon has spectacular hands for running back. This guy's 6'1". He's not that small. I loved him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so like with getting somebody like that in the third round, at which point are we assuming in the first and second round we went middle linebacker and then maybe receiver or interior O-line or something like that?
Yeah, so I think in the first 2 rounds specifically, or the first 4 picks. So I'm arguing he should be your 5th pick or 6th pick. But your first 4 picks, the hope is you can get an edge, receiver, linebacker, and maybe a guard. Although, as I said before, I don't know / think if O-line is this crazy necessity that we talk all the time. Meaning, if Skura's back, it's definitely not a need. If Skura is not back and McCurry can develop a little bit more as the center, you're hoping Powers is right guard. But the problem is, if you're going to bring a 3rd round pick or, probably like a 3rd round pick guard, essentially you're bringing Powers again. You're bringing Powers versus Powers, right? So either you draft early a guard, but if you don't and you bring a later guard, essentially you're bringing a guy that, if you go back to your notes from last year, he's essentially Powers again. Mm-hmm. And you're making them compete. Now, for depth purposes, it's good. This is not. I think we should draft one. But if Skura is back, you in theory don't have that O-line need / problem. Maybe the following year, if Skura goes to free agency, but this year, at worst, if you have McCurry and Powers as your center and right guard, you might be okay. Now the Ravens should know how Powers look in practice.
Right.
Against the Steelers, he looked okay, and that's a good D-line. The Steelers weren't giving up. They played their starters on the D-line, and he held his own. So I have hope for Powers. Yeah, man. I think for me specifically, the first picks should be either linebacker or a safety that can play that linebacker hybrid role.
Yeah.
Receiver and edge, and if you can bring another D-line, that's fine.
Edge. Oh, so you think edge before running back as well?
Oh yeah. I
mean, you like this Antonio guy so much, and we just we've got Calais Campbell now. We've got Judon still for another season. So is edge really a huge concern at this point?
Well, Campbell cannot play the edge. Campbell will play that 3-4 DN. So you have, in theory right now, you have Fergie and Judon. Those are your 2, and then Bowser. That's it.
Right.
If you bring McPhee, then he can be behind him. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I think we just had those 3. So, yes, an edge will be important for us. I think edge actually will not oversee linebacker. But linebacker, the problem is I don't want to force the pick. I don't want to force none of these picks, to be honest.
But Sonny, you got to think though, like you have with our interior D line, it's looking really good right now. I know we did lose Michael Pierce, but you've got a guy like Brandon Williams, you've got a Calais Campbell like in the inside like that, swallowing up guys on the offensive line. So that automatically is going to help out the edge rushers, our Jalen Ferguson in his second year, and of course Matthew Judon. So I don't really think that necessarily edge rusher is a huge concern. I would not be mad at it at all if EDC decided not to go with an edge rusher, like at least earlier in the draft. I could, see like later on, but maybe not earlier.
I think the two edge that I like, they're not in the first round, are Greenland and Aquara. If he wants to go that route, that's fine. Those need some time to develop. In my opinion, Aquara is more dynamic. I would like Aquara because he's more athletic than Greenland, but Greenland's still a solid pick. Right. Probably more in the third round. Linebacker, I think at this point, the big two, everybody knows them, Quincy Murray. Behind him, you have Willie Gay Jr. He's another good pick. And then I think for a later pick, Troy Dye. I like Troy Dye a lot. The wide receiver portion, I you know what? Before I say it, can you give me your top 5? Just rank them, wide receivers.
Top 5 wide receivers, like
in ranking in the draft.
Okay,
in the draft.
Being honest with you, right now, I probably don't know my top 5, but I just probably know like my top 3 at this point, which was, like I said before, the last time I was on your show, I think Chase Claypool. I still am really interested in him. I know we can probably get him for a steal, maybe a little bit later in the draft. Him, I'm also thinking Justin Jefferson, of course, big body, higher catch radius. You don't like him?
No, I love him. Literally, love him.
Yeah, and then of course Judy as well. And do you know? You can tell me if this is true or not. I think last week when Lamar was training with AB in Hollywood, they said Judy was there too. Is that true?
Judy was there too, man. Judy was there too.
Okay,
getting that repertoire.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I have no problems with that at all, and I could definitely see EDC making a big splash play and going for somebody like that and just kind of like blowing all of our minds because. He's done that in the past, and we've only been with him for it's coming up on 2 years now. So
yeah, last year was his first draft.
Yeah.
So saying that, I'm gonna pull this out real quick. I'm gonna tell you what is my top 5, and my 5th is finagling right now. It's very loosey. The top 4 are concrete. Right. Number 1 is Judy. Now I'm hoping. For us to have a shot at Judy, somebody has to fall in love with Ruggs. Hopefully the Jets do that. Speedy guy, although they have Perriman, whatever. And then CeeDee Lamb. Well, yeah, CeeDee Lamb is my number. Well, I didn't say who. My number 1 is Judy. My number 2 is CeeDee Lamb. So those two, and then Justin Jefferson is my number 3, and then Ruggs. Right. I think people are very, very high on Ruggs. I mean, I'm still high because he's my number 4th. Right. But I think Justin Jefferson is a beast, and I will have him as my 3rd pick. That's my 3rd wide receiver. That's how I will rank. And my 5th is Mims, but that one is loose as I'm doing a secondary look at Mims. So saying that, what I was saying is I'm hoping somebody falls in love with Ruggs. I'm hoping CeeDee Lamb. Also, people would love the splash plays from CeeDee. And then because Judy is a guy that if you watch him, he's not like Ruggs and Judy are not like a highlight reel like CeeDee Lamb is.
Yeah.
But Ruggs ran a sub 4.33, and hopefully that will get him overdrafted. And CeeDee is just a splash play machine. So I'm hoping Judy slides. If he's at 19, 20 is where I will look for us to trade up. And overall, I don't want us to trade up. I would love to have Judy, but I don't think it's possible. I think it's more of a dream. Justin Jefferson is more on a striking distance, probably in the 20s. If he's there, I would love Justin Jefferson. I love his hands. He snatched that ball. Let me say something also. Zach Bond gets mocked to us way too often. I don't like Zach Bond in the first round. Mid-second, I wouldn't mind him, but first, hell no.
Agreed. I agree with that.
So that's my top 5 wide receivers. And then okay, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Trading up. I have never seen the Ravens fan base asking about trade up so much. And by the way, shout out to Jose Garcia, King Bratton, Harry Holland, Jeremy Bigby, and I forgot about somebody, that Michael Gibbons and Chris Griffin, who everybody that is here joining the mock, or not the mock, the live stream, and also hit that like button. I appreciate that. Anyway, who are the players that you would like to trade up? I'm assuming Judy's one, but who else, if there's any, that you will see us or you would like us to trade out for?
Honestly, dude, I mean, if not Judy, then there really isn't anybody else that I would necessarily trade up for. Yeah, you've got Ruggs, but Ruggs for me is kind of like just kind of like I don't want to say a direct clone of Hollywood, but like they kind of have the same like skill set. They have a similar skill set, so they're really speedy guys. And I feel like we need different types of receivers to kind of complement each other. You know, you need like a big catch radius type receiver to complement a a speedy guy. And I feel like we don't need to get two speedy guys or trade up for that. I feel like we're going to be losing value in the draft if we do that. So if it's not Judy, if it's not Lamb, then I don't really think there's anybody else we should trade up for. We should kind of just stick with what we got.
And other than wide receivers, is there any out there would you trade up for?
Honestly, no. I'm kind of like of the philosophy of the older Ravens, like Ozzie Newsome led Ravens, where we we stuck with what we got. You know, we didn't really do a whole bunch of trading up and things like that, trading around. We just kind of picked, and we made good picks. We don't necessarily have to trade up. If we do, great. I can see EDC doing something like that, but if it doesn't happen, then I'm not going to be mad at it at all.
Okay, so if he falls to pick 15, King Bratton is saying 100%. I think Judy will fall to Denver at 15. I think I'll take a 2860 and a 106. Would you do that trade?
Judy will fall to Broncos.
So that's the last second round, and 106 is probably a fourth. Let me see. I look at this. Would you do that trade?
I would. Yeah, I would. Honestly, I think we're in win now mode, and a guy like that, gives us a good shot, to actually win now. And I think that our window is, I don't want to say it's a small window, but we only have like a couple of years. So we do need to make some bigger plays in order to actually get to where we want to be, which is a Super Bowl title. But like I said, at the same time, I don't want to do like a whole bunch of forcing, giving away a bunch of our picks, that sort of thing. So I'm kind of like, I know I sound a little bit indecisive about it.
No,
but
you're fine.
No, but I would probably say no at the end of the day.
So that's by the way, I just checked. That's a first, a second, and a third.
Yeah.
So it's a first, second, and third. I think that's rich. I will, if that happens, first, second, and maybe the 134th, but I agree with you. I love Judy, guys. I effing love Judy, but I don't want to trade that much because I think we have very strategic holes, and I don't even know. Not that I don't even know. I'm pretty sure wide receivers are not the biggest, and we have picks to complement all that. So in the same comment, and by the way, shout out to X513. Hopefully you're liking that jersey. So Jason. Here's another guy that I say that I might trade for him. If he falls to the 20s with the same Justin Jefferson, yes, because if he's in the 22, 23 round, we might have to give that last third. We might have to give the early fourth. That's a trade that I can consider.
Yeah. That I don't mind.
Yeah. And I think Chason, although I think people, if we draft him, might think, oh my God, we got this elite pass rusher. I don't know if Chason is necessarily an elite pass rusher yet, but the potential that he has and the dynamic he has, look, he is a better version of Bowser. He needs to bulk up a little bit, in my opinion, but he's a better version. He's fast, he's speedy, he can close out, he can go out, defend the flag, go out, defend in the zone. He can definitely, he is amazing. So if he's there in the 20s, 22, 23, and we just have to give that pick 129th, maybe 106, then I wouldn't mind. But that's pretty much it. What is this? April 7th. Oh, we can talk about this before we segue to the
AFC North.
Yeah. Let me see here. I wouldn't do the trade. So Harry Holland says that he wouldn't do any trades. Okay, so imagine if we got Judy or Lamb. We now have our 2 receivers for years to come for the first time forever. That's Frozen quote there, right there. You give a Lamar a true number 1 star receiver. I'm not disagreeing. The problem is there's other glaring needs that then you're gonna leave by itself. And how are you gonna fill them, right? There's nothing in free agency, right? I mean, there's two. There's Griffin that I don't think fits this defense for all your fans that love Griffin, and then Clowney fits this defense, but it looks like he's solid. I'm gonna get this big payday. Doesn't matter what. And then how? Okay, I'm gonna add before I give my thoughts on Cesar Ruiz. What do you think about Cesar Ruiz?
I actually haven't heard too much about Cesar Ruiz. Actually, I heard about him. I think like last week, but I didn't get a chance to like look at any of his like his tape or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to look into it.
So for me, Cesar Ruiz is the best inside O lineman. Christian Berry is a very, very close second. They're very, very similar. Yeah, he's a center from Michigan. Look, if he's there, if we draft him, obviously he comes with the blessing of Jim Harbaugh. So Jim knows everything about his guys. We will know. I think if we don't take him with the first round, we ain't going to take him because he's going to go early in the second, maybe late first.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Cushenberry might be mid-second. That's a guy that I will not mind trading up from the pick on the 55th pick to mid-second if Cushenberry's there. And there you got Cushenberry center/guard. Boom, you plop in there. You're good to go. He should be a starter day 1.
Real quick, before we segue to the next topic, we've been doing all this talk about all these other guys, but like literally every analyst on the internet and on TV has been saying that like we'll probably end up going with like Kenneth Murray with our first pick at 28. What do you think about Kenneth Murray at this point?
I like Kenneth Murray a lot. I did a video of Kenneth Murray and Patrick Queens like 2 months ago. And I haven't revisited their tape because I keep getting people asking me, can you view this guy, and this guy? But Kenneth Murray is dynamic. I like him a lot. The problem that I have with Kenneth Murray was, and this is a big problem, that sometimes he over pursues. He has relied what I see him from college, and he's so explosive, so fast for a middle linebacker that he goes instinct wise, and that sometimes gets him to pursue the run angles, and that would drive me crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that will drive me insane. Yeah. And then, like I was talking to Nuba about this. I said, Noobs, the question that I have with Murray, and I don't know how to answer this, is if I tell Murray, dude, you need to let the play develop, would that take all that explosiveness, all that reaction, all that shooting the gap like a bullet out, and now he becomes an average linebacker? I don't know.
That's a good point. I think that you can teach patience to guys on defense. Now, would it take away from his explosiveness? Of course, because football is, 75% instinct, 25% skill, pretty much. Yep. So if he's not using his instinct all the way to like his full abilities, then of course it's going to take away from his explosiveness. But I think he's a guy who can actually, he can, get over that. And I think he can actually, because he has really good leadership. So I know he's willing to learn. He's willing to buy in. So I think that it won't really affect him as much, maybe early on, but he'll develop into something really great for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him as a pick 28. This is not me saying that he should not be pick 28. I think pick 28 is fine. I wouldn't trade up for him. I think pick 28 is fine. Asmodeus, thank you for the donation. Today we're not taking phone calls. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna try to do this 1 day in, 1 day out of phone calls. Okay. Let me see here. Says we would turn into Correa if you slow him down. I don't know about Correa, but that is my worry. I'm not gonna lie, that is my worry. So Queen, I think, is a more polished guy. It's just he is. How can I say that? He's more polished, but in my opinion, not as explosive as Kenneth. Now, with that said, let's segue to this. And by the way, shout out to everybody that's putting comments. Raven76, more Aaron721. By the way, in the comments section, put it down there. Rank your top 5 wide receivers. There you go. Top 5 wide receivers. And tell me who are the players that we trade up for. Okay? So, let's talk about this before we segue to the other topic. So, This is for press box. I was looking for what were the Ravens picks, and this thing popped out. This happened to be from yesterday's from Ken Salas. Okay. And he has a mock draft and a very curious mock draft. He has, and this is how he divides the picks. He says the pick that might be, the pick that would be, that could be, sorry, might be, could be, wouldn't shock me, and the pick. Okay, so he tells you what is the pick. That's the last one that he does. And then he says basically probability of what picks can be there. Okay. So I'm gonna read it like he has it. The pick that might be Denzel Mims. I think none of us will be shocked. I'm sure Ravens Nation will be happy.
Yeah, for sure.
The pick that could be Zach Bond. Now, I already put my thoughts about Zach Bond, but what is your thoughts about Zach Bond?
I kind of feel the same way. I'm not, too high on him, especially not like early on. You did say that you weren't, you weren't too high on him, right?
I don't think he's a first round pick. I think he's more early second at best. I would take him in the mid second.
Yeah, I think that would be a kind of like a L for us in the first round. Yeah. If things have to go terribly, But I don't think
piss me off. It will piss me off. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That will piss me off, and I'm gonna be live, and you're gonna say me piss off. Anyway, wouldn't shock me, Cesar Ruiz. We already talked about Cesar Ruiz. I think it's fine. And then the pick that he's doing is Patrick Queens, linebacker at LSU. Okay. And then second round, the 55th pick, the pick that might be Brandon Ayuk. Are you big on Brandon Ayuk?
I remember you were big on Brandon Ayuk not too long ago.
So my whole point with Brandon Ayuk, I also made a video before the mock, before the combine, was I don't like Ayuk in the first round. I think I was one of the first when people were mocking Ayuk in the first round that said he should be in the late second round. Now everybody's mocking him in the late second round, and in the late second round, I have no problem with him. Yeah. That's where he should live. I think Ayuk is a decent player. He can be a return guy for you as well. But so, what is your thoughts on
Ayuk? Is I think he's good. And after you did your video for him, I did some more research on him. I studied up on him. I like him, but I still like my guy Chase Claypool more. I feel like it's just a bigger body, bigger catch radius for Lamar Jackson. I think that's what we need at wide receiver right now. So any receiver that has that bigger frame, and Brandon Ayuk, he made some good plays in like the tape that I watched, but
Brandon Ayuk is a wide open guy. He's not about to contested catches. That's not his MO.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't necessarily need guys like that on our team,
I think also it's funny because I remember saying like that he played against not the greatest competition, that I thought maybe that's why he was getting wide open, and the speed might have been there, might not. I think he ran an underwhelming 40. I think that's what pulled him down. But I think this is where he should live. Anyway, that's not the pick that he has for us. He said the pick that could be Malik Harrison, linebacker, Ohio State. Won't shock me, Laviska Shenault. I think Laviska probably goes earlier than that.
Yeah.
And the pick that he has for us is Josh Huge. And I need to make a video for Josh Huge because I haven't finished his tape. But do you have anything on Josh Huge?
Not on Josh Huge, no. Okay. I actually don't.
He's an edge. From Michigan. Okay. So 5 picks later, pick 60. The pick might be Matt Hennessy, inside lineman, Temple. I'm not huge on him, but whatever. It could be Marlon Davidson, inside D lineman out of Auburn. I think I like him more. It wouldn't shock me. Cole Kmet, which I had mocked him for us in round 3, and people go bunkers. And the pick, and I love this pick, by the way, Michael Pittman. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think that this late in the draft, I think we just more so need to focus on like depth and like our needs.
Okay.
And I think that, because in the first couple rounds, we'll probably go middle linebacker, we'll go wide receiver, we'll go maybe edge. Mm-hmm. But after that, I really don't think that there's really other, huge needs. Like, I'm just trying to think like Michael Pittman. I'm trying to see where he fits in with us.
Well, he will be your big body guy, 50-50, strong hands.
But I feel like, and I saw somebody mention the chat actually as well. We've got like a Miles Boykin, right, on our
Mm-hmm.
team already, and so I don't think that we necessarily need to go out and draft like more than one receiver of the same like body type like that, because we already do have a Miles Boykin. So I assume at this point in the draft, we'll already have drafted a wide receiver, whether it be Denzel Mims in the first round, whether it be maybe if we traded up and got Judy or something like that. I don't think that we'll be getting like a wide receiver in the fourth, fifth. I don't think we'll be getting them that late.
So for him, this is his first wide receiver drafted. He had Patrick
Well,
Queen, Josh Hughes, and Michael Pittman.
yeah,
Those
if
are
we're
his.
for sure, if we're just going off of basically like what he has drafted, then yeah, I think that is a good pick. I do like that pick.
Yeah. So right now, I would say my only critique, I actually not watching the whole tape of Michael or Josh Hughes. I would have put Marlon Davidson in the 55th pick, and then Hughes would have been my draft. Anyway, so with the 92nd pick, that's the third round pick, they might be Nateen Moody. I'm so on him. Amik Robertson corner, Troy Dye. I love Troy Dye, but I guess because we have a linebacker, he didn't draft it. Then he went tight end Adam Trutman. Dayton had nothing to say about him. I have no tape on him, so I cannot comment on him. I will
Definitely
just
not
lie
really
to
looking
you.
for tight end anyway. Honestly,
I
we're good
think
on
if
tight
the
end.
right tight end is there, but yeah, again, I don't know. Anyway, so pick round 4, pick 129. He has the pick that might be Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. Simpson is another one that he think could be. Wouldn't shock me is Akeem Davis Gaither, linebacker, Appalachian State, and the pick that he has is Jordan Elliott, D lineman out of Missouri.
Okay, definitely
Uh,
D line is always good.
Yep. And then just to speed this up, the next pick he has the running back out of Appalachian State. There's an Evans, and then round 5th he has a wide receiver. So his second wide receiver, Lynn Bowden from Kentucky, and then last pick another Michigan boy, John Ryan Jr. out of Michigan. I think it's solid. Obviously this probably nothing hit like what everybody would like. My critiques of this mock draft, I'm not saying that I'm a better mock draft for this dude. This is not me saying this. I would change Huge for Davidson, like I said. I would have picked Troy Dye there instead of Adam Trutman. And then Ben Bredesen, that's fine. Another Michigan boy, that's fine in pick 3. And then you can look for, depending who was there, another edge, because at that point I wouldn't had any edges from the later picks. But anyway, this is just a small critique. Okay, now I said that I had a player from the ones that you had sent me. Let me start with Kyle Duggar. He was from, I forgot the school. It was a very small school, so I had nothing from him, guys. And that being said, I couldn't find any games from Omar Bailey and Shan Oakman or Allman. I had nothing from them, nothing. So Kyle Duggar, I found highlights, and I can say he's 6'1", 217. He looks like he's a safety, by the way, Sutton. He
Yeah,
looks like a freaky athlete. It looks awesome on highlights on a very small school. So he is a guy that if they like him, you can take it with the 7th round, maybe 6th round. I couldn't find anything. So I'm not gonna lie to you here and make shit up because I don't have anything. The
yeah,
guy that I did find some stuff was James Prochet or something like that from SMU. Last year's stats: 111 receptions, 1,225 receiving yards. He's a receiver.
yeah,
15 touchdowns. So 2 games that I checked because it was the higher competition against Memphis. Memphis was ranked back then. 13 receptions, 149 yards, and 1 tud. TCU, 10 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. My pro says he has a hell of a hands, very strong hands.
yeah.
Tracking ability is really good. He's a fighter for the ball, very aggressive. His vision in the open field is really good. He fights for every block on the running attack. So I love that. He's a fighter. He's like a mini bulldog, right? His
Yeah.
cons, not many routes. At least I didn't see any, or not any. Didn't see many. Not very polished on the route 3. Not a tackler breaker. So he's a guy that has good vision and would avoid people. But similar to Hollywood, he doesn't break tackles. Size limits him. And yes, that's the problem. He's 5'11". The size does limit him. And I think he's a slot. Now, would I draft him with a late pick? Maybe. And I put him behind Willie Snead and say, yo, you learn from Willie,
Right.
from the slot, because he's explosive and you can bring him with Willie. Do this. I like him. I think this guy looks like a typical Bill Belichick pick for the slot. It's a small dude that can be explosive in the open field, and he does find ways to get open.
I mean, he's 6 feet. He's not that small. 6 feet,
5'11"
300 pounds,
on a good day. 5'11" on a good day.
Yeah. I mean, I think a guy like that, I wouldn't mind drafting a guy like James Prochet late in the draft because, there's always depth at receiver that you can just develop, just talent. Even if we have to send him down to the practice squad for a little bit, just develop down there, come back up. Like you said, put him behind a guy like Willie Snead. We don't have Seth Roberts anymore. Do we still have Chris Moore? Did we get rid of him too?
No, we brought him for special teams.
We got him back. Okay, yeah. But we don't have Seth Roberts anymore, so we can actually just plug somebody in. Somebody's going to have to plug in that spot, that Seth Roberts role. And,
yes.
Do we get more Boykin play or do we get...
I think it's going to be Boykin and whoever we draft. Right now, we're very thin on wide receivers. More essentially, they're saying he's not a wide receiver. He's going to be a special team. Yeah, he can come here and there. But you have Hollywood.
Right.
Yes, Need in the slot that I think his production might uptick with no Hayden Hurst. But they need to get somebody there to be that third tight end, especially more of a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
And then Boykins. Those are your 3. And yes, I know somebody's going to be Jaleel Scott. Jaleel Scott has shown you nothing in 2 years. So, and you're going to say to me, Sonny, but he hasn't had the opportunity. He goes to practice every day. He has opportunity to show to the coaches. Are you telling me that if he's killing practice, the coaches are not going to play him? No. He hasn't shown it. This is his year. If he doesn't do much in preseason, if we have a preseason or in practice, he's going to get cut. Like I said, I think they're going to expand the roster because we're not going to have enough practice. We're not going to have – so they're going to say for a year, everybody just keep, I don't know, 60-something players. I don't know.
64.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so some other comments here. I did not look at Jonah Jackson, but he's here as I think was one of my next guys that I was going to look. We go Willie Gay only if we go Queens early. I think the other way around. If we don't go Queens, I can see Willie Gay. I like Ayuk and People Jones late second, early third. We need a wide receiver who can be a returner. Inonk, hopefully Inonink. I don't know. Sorry, hopefully I didn't botch your last name or your name there. If Queen and Murray are both gone, I also heard Zach Bond of Wisconsin mentioning a lot with Gay. Who's better than see as a middle linebacker? Willie Gay, no question. Zach Bond is, in my opinion, more of an edge than a middle linebacker. I think if you go back to the Senior Bowl, he did okay as an edge. He struggled coverage. Now he has the athleticism, but what it looked was more that he wasn't used as much, so he needs to learn that position. Can we deliver receivers? Fair. Okay.
The answer is no.
Limboen could return and be another deep threat gadget player. He's not bad as a late pick. And what about Mims? I think we talk about Mims a lot. So because we only have 20 more minutes here. Shout out to everybody that is joining the live stream. By the way, check out my boy Sutton Des on YouTube. Find it like it's there, Sutton Def. You can see his name tag there. Just search for it. Talks about football and sports and other stuff.
Also, that's my handle for Twitter and Instagram as well.
That is true. So go ahead, join him or add him in Twitter and Instagram. Okay. Then so look at this. Denzel Mims, Robert Hunt, Malik Harrison, Troy Dye. That wouldn't be bad. Somebody said something about a dream scenario here, and I passed it. But yes, I don't know. Like, if you tell me, Sutton, what is your first 4-pick dream scenario?
Honestly, dream scenario. Okay, so dream scenario. We're talking like best case. I would
Yes,
probably
realistically, best case.
I would probably say Mims. I think that's realistic for the first round pick. And then the second round pick, it's kind of by the time we get there, I'm thinking of like the middle linebackers that'll be available because that's where I would want to get next. But I'm just not sure. Do you think like a who are we talking about? Like a Willie Gay? When do you think he's going?
I would have said third round before. My problem
Third.
is because he killed the combine and people put so much stock in the combine, he probably
Yeah.
goes in second.
You think we can get him in the second?
I think so. If you can probably trade up a little or maybe stay put at 55. I think that's near his sweet spot.
Yeah, I think something like that would be beneficial. There's multiple guys that I like for the third pick, whether it be at edge or interior O line. But if I had to just pick a position on which one I would go with, it'd probably be interior O line.
Didn't go Claypool.
Nah, I didn't go Claypool because I mean, if we get Mims first round, it's like I don't really want to stack up on wide receivers. I kind of want to be able to develop. And I know we haven't been able to develop really, but I think Hollywood's going to be great this year, and having a guy like Mims behind him would be great too.
Yeah, I think we need 2 wide receivers in this draft, a minimum.
Yeah. But like you said, we can get like a James Prochet later in the round.
You can get one will be early, one will be mid, in my opinion, and maybe last pick up the draft, a developmental guy, somebody that you can see potential. But
right,
okay. So let me see, because what was the picks again?
You
said Mims.
Yeah, I said Mims, Willie, and then for the third pick, I'm trying to figure out. I would probably go interior O line as opposed to edge, but I'm trying to think. There's probably multiple guys at interior O line that are going to be available at that point, who I would probably pick up. I'm just not exactly sure the names of them, but that is the position that I would go with that third pick for sure.
Okay, so here's the scenario. Since Chazon, I don't think Chazon will be there at 28, but yes, I mean, that's best case scenario. He's there. Ayuk 55, Malik Harrison, Pittman, and
you guys really like Ayuk?
Yeah, I think Ayuk's spot is roughly there. I would say my dream scenario is first we trade back. We trade back. And then what I would say is if Christian Mary's there in that trade back, maybe him. I think the linebackers have potential to also slim behind. So I think you trade back, you get this is early second, probably Christian Berry's what I would draft. And then with the 55th, I'm looking into Malik Harrison, and then people are going crazy here because I went 2 trenches position, and then I will go with Willie Gay. So that's my 3. So 3 defense, O-line and 2 defense, and then with the 92nd pick here, I will go with if your boy's there, Chazon, not Chazon, Claypool, yeah, maybe him.
Yeah.
If
over Pittman.
If Pittman's there, Pittman over Claypool. I think Pittman is floor is higher.
Okay.
Okwara. I will go Okwara over all of them if he's there.
Okay.
So here I am, and I'm having pick a receiver. So I'll say Okwara. And then whatever the best wide receiver in that point is available, yes, that will be my 5th pick. So my dream scenario, I wouldn't pick. Look, I think. Do you saw my mock draft?
Yeah.
The one that I put 2 out there. I need to put a new one. This is from last week. But this is one of my dream scenarios. Look, I traded back. I got Patrick Queens on the pick 37.
Yeah.
60th pick, Jeremy Chin. And then I went tight end, Cole Kmet. And I know people hate that pick. I got you. And then I got Jonathan Greener for edge. Now, what I would say is the Cole Kmet, if I can change that to Okwara, I will do that in a heartbeat. And I didn't pick a receiver until my 5th pick, which was your boy, Chase Claypool. And then I got Troy Dye, linebacker. And then I got KJ Hill. and then I got a inside O lineman. So I went heavy defense, I guess a tight end, but again, I would change that to Okwara, and this was a perfect draft for me. All defense, Claypool and KJ Hill and Juwan Jennings were my two receivers. Juwan Jennings being the last pick. People like the other draft that I did, which was Denzel Mims, and then I traded up to get Kenneth Murray. I still got Jeremy Chin and got Damian Lewis as an inside lineman. Alex Hicksmith, I think he is a sleeper on the edge. Troy Dice, a linebacker. Lynn Bowden and Anthony Jennings.
I know one thing. They're definitely loving Michael Pittman in the chat from what I'm seeing.
Pittman, I think it's because we all think. I think we all trying to figure out who is the next Anquan.
Sheesh.
And
good
thank
luck.
you, Dante Swimson. Thank you for donating, man. I'm not donating, for subscribing. And go ahead and subscribe to my guy, son. But I think that is the big thing, right? We are trying to figure out who is the next Anquan, that safety blanket bulldog guy. Now, personality-wise, I've seen Pittman talking interviews. He doesn't look like Anquan. Anquan, man, I wouldn't want to cross Anquan.
Yeah, definitely not.
He's a bad boy. Like, I would love if we can find the next Anquan or Steve Smith.
I was just about to say him, yeah.
Oh, man, Steve Smith was one of my favorite receivers, not as a Raven, ever. Dude, he was the guy that you hated because you didn't have it.
Yeah. He brought it every time he was on the field. Like, I know you remember that one play where he was, I think it was against the Bengals, and he was like broke away. And then like he like stiff armed a guy and throws him to the ground and then goes in for the touchdown. Like, man, he's a bad man.
It would be the best. I mean, if there was Steve Smith out there, I would take a first round for him. Like, if you can guarantee me Judy was minimal Steve Smith, yes, trade that second and third round pick right now, because not only he was a hell of a receiver, he was a hell of a leader, a hell of a fighter, work ethic. He was showing day in, day out, no matter what. Man, I had not enough good things about Steve Smith. If you tell me who you prefer, Steve Smith or Anquan, I'll take the smaller guy, Steve Smith. This is not a.
I don't know about that one though.
I'm not the Anquan. It's just the intensity. Like, Anquan brought the intensity on every catch. Steve Smith brought the intensity as soon as he lined in the line of scrimmage.
That's true.
I love him. Oh, my favorite.
But you're talking Anquan Bold and just a big guy, sure-handed, huge catch radius, can just go up and grab it.
I think that's why they talk about Pittman and Ravens 76 being more T. Higgins. I think those are the receivers that you're hoping can develop as a Q, right?
Yeah.
Strong guy. The ball's there. He was snatching. There's no way he's not coming out. I mean, Anquan Bolding helped Joe Flacco become a rich man. Let's be honest.
That's true.
Flacco just threw it around Q, and Q has spidey webs and brought it him. I mean, it was just amazing.
Him and Torrey Smith.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love Torrey Smith. I was so sad when we let him go because he was a speed guy. That was the perfect compliment, right? Speed guy on the outside, and then you had Q there to Flacco's like, well, F it. Yeah, let me just throw it near him. He will catch it, whatever. And then Q did.
Hey, one more. I have one quick question for you. I know you probably want to switch topics.
No, you're not gonna switch to the AFC North.
Okay.
Yeah. It's too late for that.
Okay. I was thinking about Joe Flacco. Do you think that Joe Flacco was actually elite at one point?
No, Joe Flacco had an elite run.
Okay.
Elite run. He was a very good quarterback. And I think the Baltimore Ravens fans got offended too easily. And, we tried to protect our guy. It's the same thing when Lamar does something bad, I pointed out he did this wrong. It was not a good play. People get offended. Why? You had to call Lamar will tell you when he does something wrong. Joe Flacco wasn't that guy. I didn't like that he didn't took more,
responsibility.
Yeah. I didn't like that about Flacco. I wish he was more. I think that's part of a leader. I love Lamar as a person, as a leader, and his gameplay.
Right.
But yeah, I think Flacco was a good quarterback. I think he was similar to Eli Manning. I mean, for all the stuff that Eli Manning had better receivers than Flacco throughout. More
Yeah.
consistent receivers throughout.
I mean, but you're talking like a guy in Joe Flacco who, for a period of time, he was a top 10 quarterback, fringe top 6 or 7, around that area. We're talking like the years of 2011, 2012, and a little bit of 2013 as well. He was actually really good in those seasons. And then, of course, the 2012 postseason run where he throws like 11 touchdowns, no interceptions in the postseason. All those things, you could make an argument. You could make a case that at one point Joe Flacco was elite, and that's okay. Like I understand there's a clear difference between elite quarterbacks and quarterbacks that had, elite runs. But at one point, Joe Flacco was elite. You agree?
I don't know, man. I can't agree. I think Flacco was good. Flacco was really good for a little bit there. I never consider Flacco top 5 quarterback, top 8 either. Maybe the 10th best at one point for a season. We're talking about a guy that maybe the year when he had Kubiak, he threw for a lot of yardage. But before that, he was. I mean, this is again no knock. He was essentially Alex Smith, Eli Manning, that type of quarterback that, they're good, not great. Eli Manning, I mean, got 2 Super Bowls. Flacco got 1. Alex Smith never got any. But I don't think he was never a top 5, top 8. I think at best a 10. I will argue more 13, 14 range. Flacco was good. It was good for us. I think the only time we put receivers that were halfway decent, we won the Super Bowl, which when we had Torrey Smith, Anquan Bowling, and Pitta. Those 3 was great for him. And then you had Ray Rice there to check down, and it's a good running back. So when he had weapons, he felt better. But I don't know. I wouldn't consider him a top.
I probably wouldn't consider him top. I definitely wouldn't consider him top 5 or at any point. But I'd say like closer to 10, top 10. But what I was going to ask is that do you think that it's fair to make a fair comparison between like Joe Flacco and a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo? Do you think they're comparable?
No.
Joe
Flacco was better than Garoppolo.
Really?
Joe, what is Garoppolo showing you? He had a run to the Super Bowl where he was a spectator. He wasn't. It's the same thing for Tannehill. This is not. I mean, they did whatever they need to do to win, but Tannehill and Garoppolo were spectators in their run in the playoffs. Neither of them were like, oh my God, making plays. Like Mahomes was a quarterback in those games. Lamar Jackson, even though he took the L, was a quarterback. Tom Brady was a quarterback. Cousins was a quarterback. The other, Tannehill and Jimmy Jesus, they were spectators. They were there more like, okay, I'll throw here and there, but let me give it the run. I think Flacco was better than what has Jimmy Garoppolo done? Talk about somebody that's get overpaid for nothing. He barely has, and I go crazy. People are like, well, let him develop. Dude is 30. He has injured. Okay, but dude is 30. He's been in the league for what, 6-7 years now? Nah, Flacco was better. And Flacco, this is true from Jay Will. This is true. Flacco was money in the playoff. That is true.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I think you're kind of underrating Jimmy Garoppolo just a little bit, just a tiny smidgen. Because I mean, at the end of the day, he was winning games. He does have a really good record as a starting quarterback. So you can't really take that away from him. So we'll see what he does next year. But I mean, he's still got his weapons. He's still got Kittle. They still got Debo. So they've got a lot of time to make sure that things get to where they need to be because they have young guys on their roster. But Jimmy Garoppolo, like you said, he's 30, but I think he can definitely make something happen.
I think he is agreeing with you. Very good QB. Well, I guess he said very good. So that's what I said. Very good. The defense-focused team had an elite run and was Joe Cool in the game. Look, I always said, let us get to the playoff, and then I trust Flacco more. That was my thing. Now, I think I would say Ozzie did good on bringing personalities while Flacco was here.
Mm-hmm.
That will take more of that leadership role. Because I think Flacco was more a leader. Like, he'd show up, he did his thing, he left. but he had Ray Lewis, he had Q, he has Steve Smith. Like, he had bigger personalities. We don't have that bigger personality right now, right? T-Sis was left. We don't have that guy. I wish if you can find that, I'll take that.
Kenneth Murray.
Kenneth Murray could be. I think Wolf is a big personality guy. I like him a lot. Campbell's more of a quiet guy. Campbell, ET, they're just leaders by examples more than leaders by vocal, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at this. I'm gonna let you answer that one first.
Man. I mean, I gotta go.
Answer that first.
Honestly, this is a good one. It's kind of like apples and oranges. You got to kind of pick your poison because, of course, you have Phillip Rivers, who has put up, Hall of Fame level like numbers and stuff like that, stats over the years, but never got that Super Bowl title. Never really got those playoff wins. Flacco never really put up huge numbers in the regular season, but always did his thing in the postseason. So if you're weighing rings over stats, then of course you go Flacco. But if you're going longevity, which is what I go with, I'm going Phillip Rivers. He was the better quarterback over the years. He didn't have like a 5-year stint where he wasn't doing anything at all like Flacco did. So I have to go with Phillip Rivers over Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I actually think I had thought about Phillip Rivers as a top 6 or 7 guy before. Not now, but before in his career.
Yeah.
Again, never thought about that about Flacco. I think Rivers here would have won the Super Bowls that we got, and somebody here said like we should have had 2 because of Lee Evans. Yeah, but we didn't win it, right? So at the end of the day, it happens. Yeah, Tom Brady can argue that he should have 1 if the helmet catch doesn't happen over there in New York. It's an extra 1 that he should have had, but he didn't. Right? It happens. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way.
Right.
Jacoby Jones was look. Players that I would like to replicate currently and have it in my team. Obviously, a Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, right? But if I take my Hall of Famers out, and TCSO will include as a future Hall of Famer, Jacoby Jones as a returner, not as a receiver, as a returner. Sign me up for that today. Anquan Bolding or Steve Smith as a receiver. That is the type of receiver that we currently need. Neither of them were super speedy. Oh, I guess Steve Smith was when he came to the league, but like when they were in Baltimore, neither of them. But that type of receiver, that's what we need. And I think this. Oh, well, I guess we kind of have that. I was gonna say a guy like Nada, but I think Campbell can be Nada this year. Anyone that you think old Raven that you would like to replicate and have currently with us?
I think Nada is definitely a good one, but if there's anyone, I have to go with Q. I got to go with Anquan Boldin. And I don't think we have him right now. I definitely don't think Miles Boykin is that. I hope we draft somebody who hopefully can develop into something like an Anquan Boldin. But if there is anybody, I do want that because Lamar Jackson throwing the ball, it's great scheming up big plays for Hollywood, but just being able to have a guy who can go up and get a 50-50 ball other than Mark Andrews, sure. We need something like that. So that's what I would prefer.
Rivers play more like a Raven than Flacco. Let me say something about Rivers. I actually hate the guy. I dislike Phillip Rivers. He's there in my top 3 dislike quarterbacks. I dislike Peyton Manning for no reason. I will say it right here. I dislike Peyton Manning for no reason. Rivers is a complainer. It just yaps all day to something I love about Joe Flacco. He just stood up and kept playing. Somebody hit him. He just kept going. Phillip Rivers, and I remember in that playoff game that I went, and that's where I really said, like, nah, F you, man. I'm done with you. Yeah. Remember, Judon took him down. He went to complain to the rest. There was no flag. Judon's there holding his arm, and he sees Judon there holding his arm. He starts yapping to Judon, and Judon just stands up, holds his arm, and goes towards him like, F, you want to do this? And then Phillip Rivers runs away like a little bee. He just turns away. I'm like, dude, I'm done with you. F you, man. F you. I dislike, if I'm not hate Phillip Rivers. But taking my feelings aside, I think Rivers was a better quarterback than Flacco.
Absolutely.
I remember Flacco argued. No, but I'm saying like every single play, like Peyton Manning used to do this too. If anybody grazed Peyton Manning will go to them like, yo, do you see that? He touched me. Brady does the same shit. I hate that. I hate the complaining quarterbacks. Like, I don't see it from Russell Wilson. I don't see it from Lamar. I'm not saying like never, right? But I'm saying every single play. It just.
Yeah. I mean, Phillip Rivers has always been like that. If you listen to like Phillip Rivers mic'd up, you'll really see what Sonny's talking about.
Oh my God, it's so annoying. Dude,
It
it's
is.
so annoying. This is not saying that he's not talented. He's just annoying as F.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
miss Andrew Luck. That's why. His
Andrew Luck
humbleness.
was the definition of a nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
if you go hear the mics, like those FX mic time, Andrew, like, oh, great sack, dude. Oh, great hit. Oh, that
Right.
really got me there. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, he has to be an awesome dude. Like, he's the definition that this did is just pure goodness,
Yeah.
right?
It's
But
genius.
yeah,
It's genius.
I mean, that could be how to get mental to somebody, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you would think somebody just clogging you. You're expecting somebody trash talking you back, and this guy's just saying like, "Oh, good hit," and you're like, "What?
Like, huh?
What is it?
All right.
What?"
All
Right?
right.
Like, Steve Smith, go find some sounds of Steve Smith
Yeah.
trash talking galore. I
Oh yeah.
mean, again, he is the guy that if he's in your team, you love. If he's not, you just hate. Anyway, my guys, we've been here for an hour. It has been fun. Damn, it went
Oh
fast.
yeah, for sure.
I love it. So, Sutton, where they can find you? Tell them again.
Yeah, you can find me my tags right here below at Sutton Def, pretty much anywhere. That's YouTube. That is also on Twitter or Instagram. My podcast is mainly available on Apple Podcasts and also SoundCloud as well. You can find it at The Diet Therapy Podcast. That's also linked through my YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as well. You can also find my new clothing line, Overlooked Underrated. You can definitely find that on all my social medias at Sutton Def. There's also a website, olurclothing.com. That's olurclothing.com. If you guys like the hoodie, you can definitely check one out. But yeah.
There you go, my guys. Go follow my guys. Like I said, we're gonna be here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We are gonna try to have phone calls tomorrow. So come, please join. And hey, my guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the ride. Take care. We'll see you next time. Peace
All
out.
right. Peace.